With the ever-growing amount of transport and technology in the world today, it's important that we spare a moment to think about the environment and appreciate the measures that some companies take to keep our city a little more pollution-free. The Kayoola bus, manufactured by Kira Motors in Uganda, is unique and in a class of its own because it is the first ever solar-powered means of public transportation.
All right, so this week we are back to celebrating Uganda. We are back to that moment when we talk about what is made in Uganda, that very big proud moment here on Revved Up. And we are back with Kira Motors. This week we are talking about the Kayoola bus. Now I'll tell you something, the Kayoola bus has been talked about everywhere. I saw it on television, I've heard about it on radio, the newspapers, but no one has really given you the details, and that's what Revved Up is pretty much all about. And I'm always joined by the experts. Now, one of the experts who joins me today is James Biansi, who of course is the customer experience expert.
Yes, Andrew.
How are you doing?
I'm quite fine.
Welcome to set again.
Good to be here.
What does that title mean? Customer experience expert. What do you do?
What I do is basically to translate the customer's needs to the engineers so that as they design, they spec exactly what the customer needs.
But let's talk about the general feeling now within Kira. You have these 3 cars out. I'm sure you have plans for the future, which you cannot talk about right now. But what's the feeling like inside Kira? Do you guys feel progressive? Do you feel there's a couple of bureaucratic probably issues with government or within your own company that could be holding you back? Because those of us who love cars cannot stand something like that.
Well, I must say we're at a point where it's really exciting, first of all, to be in Kira, because we are growing every day in terms of capacity. The numbers are growing, the numbers of staff, the technical expertise is coming on board. We may have started out at the university, but at the moment, as we grow into a company that's going to make cars made in Uganda, we're taking on the right skill and talent. And then the environment we're operating within, that's you look at government and the economy itself, it's a good time to be in Kira, I must say.
I've just been looking at some of the statistics. This is 150 kilowatts in terms of its horsepower.
Yes.
A normal bus would be about 200.
Yes.
But let's talk about the torque. What's the difference? Because if I'm getting a big machine, I'm looking at horsepower and torque for starters.
Well, for starters, this bus has a torque of 400 Newton meters. Your average other bus out there will have a torque of about 900. Now, for a proof of concept, of course, we are not going to take this onto rugged terrain or anything like that. Our target was to show the world that it's achievable. In the event that we are going into mass production, of course, we would spec it to accommodate a torque that's relevant to the terrain it's going to take on. So in terms of a prototype that we have produced, I think we are there. We would have to spec it higher if it's needed within the mass production.
Last time we had Kira Motors, we had this Mark.
Yes.
Of course, it's a sedan. But in terms of general operation, the general mechanical setup, what's the difference between this and the Smart?
Well, the general difference between the Kayoola and the Smart is that the Smart is a hybrid. That means it's on top of the plug-in electric drive. It has a generator, an onboard generator that would be engine, which still charges a battery bank. Now, the difference is the Kayoola is purely electric. It has a 75 kilowatt hour battery bank, which gives you a range of about 80 kilometers. Yes, which gives you a range of about 85 kilometers on the road. So if you're plowing the most common routes within Kampala, you're looking at about 9 routes before you have to charge again. Now, the beauty with it is that on top of that, you have a range extender, which is the solar. It extends the range by 12 kilometers in real time. As you move, it charges. It has an automatic switching mechanism where it will charge one battery bank as it's drawing power from the other. Yes.
I have 2 final questions for you, and this next question means a lot to me and the country, and you know what has been said by the president, by the ministers. The Kayoola bus has 60% local content. Now that's a very big thing. 60% local content. Is it a plan? Is it something you guys have planned and say we are going to have this much local content at the moment?
When you look at the bus itself, I would say the only thing that was maybe brought in and integrated locally is powertrain components. things like the motor, the transmission, because we have not yet built capacity to produce that locally, or even the tires, because in our mandate we're not just looking at making tires. Someone out there will come and do that and supply it to us. But the idea is you start with the body itself. This entire body is built in Uganda. These sheets are actually from a local supplier, the body panels. When you look at the seats, they are designed and built locally. So when we talk about transforming people's lives, you are empowering them to have something they can bring on board within the automotive industry. When you look at the integration, the programming, it's all done locally. Our local engineers have done all that. So when we shoot to 60%, of course the target is 90%. Eventually when going to mass production, we want to build capacity to be able to have 90% local content. Yes.
As this show is airing on NTV, this bus is in Kenya.
Yes.
This is actually the last shoot you guys are having. We're so lucky to have the first shoot with the Kayoola, the last shoot with the Kayoola bus before you guys go to Kenya. What are you guys going to do? What are you guys doing in Kenya?
Well, come 23rd to 27th of May.
That is tonight.
That's as you air, it's happening.
Yeah.
The bus is going to be the lead exhibitor in green mobility at the Sustainable Innovation Expo in Nairobi. Now this is a forum where you have top delegates and environmental ministers coming in from around the world to discuss issues pertaining to the environment. And the Kayoola solar bus was identified within the region as an innovation that's relevant to that cause. So Ban Ki-moon himself, the UN Secretary General, will have a ride in this bus. So we are looking at such recognition, inspiring confidence in us that the agenda we've set out on is the right path to take.
Okay. So Ban Ki-moon is going to ride on this bus. The President of Uganda has been on this bus. Guess who is next? Guess who is next to ride on this bus? Thank you very much. Guess who is next to ride on this bus, ladies and gentlemen? It's me now.
Inside, the seats are beautifully handcrafted and covered in beige leather to complete the clean and simple aesthetic look, which was inspired by a waterfall. They offer perfect support and stability, but are comfortable and modern as well, bringing a whole new atmosphere of class to public transportation.
All right, now one of, like I said before, one of the more beautiful things about the Kayoola bus and having locally made cars in the country is the other industries in the country do get to benefit as well. We've been talking about it's 60% local content. If you get into the car, you realize all their seats, first of all, very well finished, very well finished. It's leather, and this type of material is very easy to clean. Most of the folks will tell you that as well. If you look at the finishing on its steering wheel, it's leather as well. And now this only means one thing though, to Uganda's economy. It means that Uganda's leather industry and everyone else who works within the leather industry or connected to the leather industry will now get to benefit. Because just imagine for 1 second, if we got to have the industry up and running and then there were 400 or 500 of these to be produced, what would that mean to the leather industry in this country? So Kira Motors, good stuff.
An electric motor fueled by lithium-ion batteries powers the 35-seater bus and has a range of up to 80 kilometers on a single charge. The roof displays the solar panels which charge the batteries, and because there's no fuel combustion, as in a conventional engine, it has a much smoother ride. It's inspiring to see Uganda starting to make environmental progress regarding public transportation. And hopefully, Kira Motors' Kayoola solar bus is just the beginning. They have cleverly designed their bus in such a way that it is visually appealing and more luxurious than the fuel-powered alternatives, so that the switch to a more environmentally friendly vehicle benefits everyone involved.